the DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Midday Market Report for Thursday, March 30th, 2023. Yes, the Major League has started, and if my numbers are correct, Braves up 2-0, top of the second. Against the Nats, and the Yankees put up a one spot in the first and lead 1-0 against the Giants. But we're here today to talk some college baseball. Yes, tomorrow at 3 p.m. we'll have 3 Men in a Box. Myself, Matt, and JTTV will be here to break down the weekend schedule. But we're going to use this little time frame here, as long as Matt's got, to highlight a series or two that start tonight, headlined by LSU and Tennessee. I am not the college baseball expert. He is. That's why he is here. So without further ado, let's bring him on, Mr. Matt Grissom.
What's going on, Jeffrey?
What is up, Matt? How are you?
I'm great. I've had people text me. They're like, what are your plays for MLB? I'm like, I don't really know. I bet a few Nerfies. And then, of course, I had to explain that because not everybody around here gets that. But I said I really like LSU tonight versus Tennessee. And they're like, what do you mean? Baseball season's starting. I'm like, no. Baseball season started 2 months ago, man. You got to up your taste because college baseball is where it's at.
1,000% without a doubt. I love college baseball, and it's a perfect lead into today. Yes, it's opening day. Yes, everyone's excited, but we got some big series about to start this weekend, and you talked about Tennessee and LSU. I'm on DraftKings right now. Got LSU minus 180 today, the Vols plus 145. Give us a little headline where these teams are at and what you're seeing tonight.
So I guess the biggest headline is you've got 1A, 1B, Paul Skeens, Chase Dolander going against each other on the bump. Chase Dolander's kind of not been what he was last season, but he's still an elite pitcher. He's still going to be a top 5, probably top 3 draft pick. But Paul Skeens, man, the transfer from Air Force, he has come out just nobody can hit him, and that's the problem. Hats off to my Arkansas Razorbacks who beat him. Well, not Skeens, but they beat LSU on a Friday night game in extra innings. And I said earlier, I don't think he's going to have an L in his column at the end of the season. And of course, if it wasn't for him keeping it low scoring throughout it, the Razorbacks may have done it, but he was just too good. And LSU, this offense, I think they're just going to be too much for Dolander to handle tonight. And I got LSU minus 155 late last night on DraftKings. Now it is minus 180. So the market has shifted to where I feel like it probably should be. But man, if you want to take LSU at minus 180, I'm not going to stop you. I think Skeens is that good in this offense. I mean, Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, you've got Gavin Dugas, Tommy White. Tommy Tanks is finally coming alive. Is absolutely smashing the baseball. I just don't think Dolander is going to be able to have enough to slow them down. And Tennessee offensively is just not up there with LSU.
I have to ask the first question. They're starting on Thursday. Is this a 4-game series?
No, it's only a 3-game. For whatever reason, I guess with traveling and television, they try to mix in a few Thursday night series in the SEC. So we've got this one, and then we've got another one I'll touch on with South Carolina and Mississippi State that also begins tonight with a little bit of breaking news.
You can break it.
Well, everyone assumed that South Carolina would start their ace, Will Sanders, but he is not even in the weekend rotation at Mississippi State down in Starkville. Eli Jones, the righty sophomore, is going to get the start. He has 7 appearances, only 1 start this year though. But the kid's fire. He's 1.77 ERA with a 2.87 xFIP and 2.35 Sierra. He does have 4 wins on the season with 0 losses. So I guess they're trying to mix it up, kind of like Arkansas did, pulling Hagen Smith out of that Friday night starter role, and is going to bring him in as a middle relief pitcher. So we'll see how that works out.
Now, does this you and JTV on this? You talk about the Friday aces when you're setting up for a 3-game set. Get in, throw your best, win that first game, and then hope for, obviously you want the sweep, but if you get the split, at least you win the series. When you got breaking news like that, do the wheels start spinning? Something going on, injury, or are these kids something happen on campus, or we just have to wait and see?
I everything that I've seen on Twitter, it doesn't look like he's hurt. I think they're just trying to switch it up to see which. I mean, he hadn't been doing just outstanding. I don't even think he was the best pitcher in their 3-man rotation to begin with. I think Jack Mahoney and Noah Hall are better. So I had to instantly look up Eli Jones, and because I don't follow South Carolina baseball that closely to know all their middle relief pitchers. There's just too many teams out there to try to do that. But I looked his stats up, and the kid's legit. So this may just be an opportunity for the coach to throw some new blood out there and see what happens. And Mississippi State's down this year. I mean, if anything, they can afford to do it in this series, because I think South Carolina probably sweeps them anyways. But definitely they're going to win the series.
DraftKings right now, Mississippi State and South Carolina, 7:00 first pitch. South Carolina -180 and Mississippi State +145.
Yeah, which went up a little bit. It was 175 South Carolina last night, which is kind of intriguing that even with the news about Will Sanders, it's still going in the South Carolina Gamecocks' favor. They're just too good. I mean, they're hitting the ball so well. Mississippi State can't score. They don't have pitching. Mississippi State in their first 2 SEC series against Vanderbilt and Kentucky, they were outscored 90-26 over a 6-game span. I mean, that's not Mississippi State brand baseball. I'm not sure what's going on down there. But I don't expect it to change anytime soon. South Carolina is going to come in there and run them right out of Duty Noble.
On the docket, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And I know we were talking SEC, obviously. Wake Forest at Clemson, 210. Wake Forest, Clemson +170. This one caught my eye. I don't know if you can help me on this one. Stanford, who I know obviously last year because they knocked UConn out of the tournament, at Oklahoma with Stanford -150 and Oklahoma +120. Is Stanford and that good, or is Oklahoma a tad down, or do you think that's a fair number?
I think it's a fair number. Oklahoma just lost so much with losing their ace, Jake Bennett, and then the other pitcher, his name has escaped me. But Stanford is one of those Pac-12 teams that I just feel like they're always going to be there. They're kind of like a blue blood of college baseball. They've been to Omaha the last 2 years. I got it at Stanford -145. You said it's up to 150.
Yes.
So
on DraftKings,
there's been an announcement that Quinn Matthews is not going to start. This is a 4-game series, so I feel like they're just doing it to kind of keep the rotation of the Friday starter. And they're going to start a guy named Nick Dugan, who I believe is their midweek starter. So they should be fine. I think it's kind of odd that the line is still going in Stanford's favor. But like I said, Oklahoma is just not as good. This would have been a fantastic series last year, but this year I think Stanford's going to be too much. And that's saying a lot because I'm really down on the Pac-12 this year.
All right, so if You're saying a 3-game series with the LSU Tennessee. Are we expecting a sweep here, or is this something that Tennessee can steal one? Or I know they don't have series plays there, but thoughts outside the box?
So it's so hard to say that Tennessee is going to get swept, but Missouri did it, and LSU is they're just on another level. I mean, I would say it's like LSU won, and then Florida, and then it's dropping. I mean, Tennessee is not what they were last year. They did get Maui Ahuna back. They've got a little bit of the firepower still with Blake Burke, but it's not Dylan Cruz or Tommy Tanks, Trey Morgan. I mean, I can't say that they're going to sweep them because I think they could win tomorrow with Chase Burns going for Tennessee versus Ty Floyd. But it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm going to say Tennessee wins one, and I think they'll win it tomorrow. And if the odds are plus 145 with Chase Burns versus Ty Floyd tomorrow, I'm going to hammer Tennessee. I mean, because that's great value.
Tomorrow we're going to have you and JTV on at 3:00. 3 Men in the Box. All the watchers and listeners right now, tell them congrats is due. Your show, tell them where to watch that, where they can see all that.
So, Quentin Mills with Notebook Wagering, those guys over there, they had me on early on in the season, and we just kind of kept up with each other, and he had approached me last week about starting just a college baseball podcast, and I jumped on it. This is something I've been wanting to do anyways, to kind of have my own avenue to share picks and, put a brand out there that's not just me. And, he, I guess, gave me the confidence to do it. I landed in Vegas. We, got beat. We're not going to talk about basketball. I came home and immediately we started working on a brand. It landed on college baseball insiders, and you can follow us on Twitter at CBSB for baseball. CBSB Insiders, and then you can go to cbsinsiders.com. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. We had our first show last night, a little pilot episode, and we broke down the 4 big matchups this weekend with regards to BYU and Gonzaga. We didn't talk about you guys, but we've got a lot of baseball to cover just between Thursday and Friday. And if you don't crack that top 25, we're probably not going to have time to get to you.
Well, before we close here, BYU tonight, Zags minus 155. You can grab the Cougars by you plus 1. Have any thoughts there?
No, if I had to lean one way, I would just say bet the dog at the plus 125. But I am on Wake Forest. I know that line moved. It was at 195. I just don't think Clemson is going to be able to hit against Rhett Lauder tonight. This is probably going to be a sweep for the Demon Deacons, and I've kind of been on their side more often than not throughout this early season. But Wake Forest is just a different ball club, man. They're like LSU, but of the ACC, and I don't think that they're going to lose a series in the ACC this year.
Go ahead. I got you now.
Okay. I was just saying Wake Forest, I don't think that they're going to lose a series this year in the ACC, and they're probably going to sweep Clemson this weekend.
All right. Well, I can't thank you enough. We got the headliner, obviously, with LSU and Tennessee. And, of course, the internet wants to play its games here. So before they kick us out, tomorrow, 3:00, myself, yourself, and JTV will have 3 Men in the Box. Congratulations, obviously, with your new show and podcast. Go follow Matt at Grissom Tweets. He is on his way to stardom in college baseball. If you need any information, if you need to ask him a question, go follow him. He'll be there to answer them. all the questions. If not today, come back tomorrow at 3:00 and we will have the weekend all set up for you then. And at 3:00 today, Andrew McGinnis at Wager Talk will be talking some NHL. At 5:00, Riley Magnuson will get you caught up with the closing bell. Currently, as we speak, Braves 3, Washington Nationals 1, and bottom of the third, Yankees 1, Giants nothing. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Matt Grissom at Grissom Tweets, we wish everyone a blessed day. Enjoy baseball, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, Jeff.